You saved $1,000 for emergencies. Then the car insurance renewal arrives. A birthday comes next. The tires need replacing. By the end of the month, the emergency fund is nearly empty again. But here is the uncomfortable question: were those really emergencies? Meet Evan. He has been working hard to build a cash buffer. Every payday, he moves a little money into a separate savings account. The balance grows slowly, and for the first time, he feels protected. Then ordinary life attacks from 4 directions. His annual insurance bill is due. The car needs maintenance. 2 family birthdays arrive close together. And a yearly subscription renews. None of these expenses appears in Evan's normal monthly budget. So he pays them from the emergency fund. The account does exactly what cash is supposed to do: it keeps him away from new credit card debt. Still, Evan feels as if he has failed. He rebuilds the fund, drains it, and rebuilds it again. Saving starts to feel like walking up a hill that resets every few months. The problem is not that Evan cannot save. The problem is that one account is doing 2 different jobs. A true emergency is both important and difficult to predict: a sudden medical bill, an urgent repair, or a loss of income. A non-monthly expense can feel surprising on the day it arrives, but the category itself is often predictable. Cars need maintenance. Holidays return. Insurance renews. School costs and annual fees come back. The exact date or amount may change. The existence of the expense usually does not. When Evan calls every irregular bill an emergency, his emergency fund becomes a storage room for the entire year. The balance looks healthy, but some of that money is already promised. So Evan creates a second layer: sinking funds. A sinking fund is simply money saved gradually for a known future category. It is not a special investment and it does not require a complicated app. It can be a separate savings bucket, a subaccount, or a clear line in a tracking system. The name sounds technical. The action is ordinary: divide a future bill into smaller pieces before it arrives. Evan looks back through the previous year and finds 4 categories that repeatedly surprised his monthly budget. For this illustrative example, he expects $600 for insurance renewals, $600 for car maintenance, $480 for gifts and holidays, and $240 for annual fees and subscriptions. That is $1,920 across the year. Divided by 12, it is $160 per month. The math does not make the expenses cheaper. It changes the timing. Instead of finding $600 in one painful week, Evan prepares $50 during each of 12 ordinary months. He does not open 12 new bank accounts. He starts with 4 categories: car, insurance, gifts, and annual bills. Every payday, a planned amount moves into those buckets. The emergency fund stays separate. Its job is to absorb events Evan could not reasonably schedule. The sinking funds handle expenses he knows will return, even if he does not know the exact day. This separation changes the meaning of both balances. If the car maintenance bucket holds $400 and a repair costs $550, Evan can use the $400 first. Only the remaining $150 needs help from the emergency fund. One account prepares for the category. The other covers the true surprise. That is very different from treating the entire $550 as an emergency. Evan also learns that a sinking fund is not a permission slip to spend. A vacation bucket does not force him to book a trip. A replacement bucket does not require him to buy a new phone. The money has a purpose, but the decision still belongs to him. The categories must also fit reality. If Evan tries to fund every possible expense immediately, the monthly total becomes impossible. So he ranks them. First come expenses with a known deadline or a serious consequence: insurance, required fees, necessary maintenance, and essential school or medical costs. Flexible goals come later. When money is tight, Evan starts with the next likely problem, not the perfect system. If the car is due for service in 4 months, he begins there. $10 or $20 per payday will not cover everything, but it reduces the size of the future shock. He also adjusts the plan when new information appears. If the insurance renewal is higher than expected, he updates the monthly amount for the next cycle. If a category consistently has money left, he can lower the contribution or keep a reasonable cushion. The system is a forecast, not a promise. For irregular income, Evan uses percentages when necessary. A stronger month gets a larger contribution. A weaker month gets a smaller one. The most urgent bucket receives money first. And he keeps the cash somewhere safe and accessible. Money needed within the next year is not treated like long-term investing money. Investments can lose value, and a bill does not wait for the market to recover. There is one more rule: after using a sinking fund, restart it. When the annual insurance bill is paid, the bucket falls near zero. That is not failure. The fund completed its job. The next contribution begins preparing for the next renewal. Months later, Evan faces another car repair. This time, he does not feel blindsided. Most of the cost is already waiting in the car bucket. His emergency fund gives only a small assist and remains largely intact. The expense is still annoying. But it is no longer a financial identity crisis. That is the real benefit of sinking funds. They do not eliminate irregular costs. They stop predictable life from impersonating an emergency. If your emergency fund keeps disappearing, do not begin by blaming your discipline. Look back over the last several months and ask a better question: which expenses were unexpected, and which ones were simply non-monthly? Choose one repeating category. Estimate the next cost and deadline. Divide the amount by the paydays remaining. Save that piece automatically if your cash flow allows it. Your emergency fund should protect you from the events you could not see coming. Your sinking funds prepare you for the events that keep coming back. All figures and scenarios in this video are illustrative and educational only. This is not personal financial advice. The right priorities and account structure depend on your income, obligations, access to insured accounts, and local rules.